It's LaShanda Henry here, aka Sister Sense. Once again, we are officially inside my success series so that I can give you a dose of daily direction. Oh my goodness. So I hope that you are comfortable because we need to sit down and have a really good conversation today about manifesting money into your business. Okay. Now, before I even get into the conversation, I want you to write this down. 922. So 922. Why? Because a lot of what I'm going to share with you, I want to make sure that you've got access to different resources and checklists. All of that is at sistersense.com/922. So that if you're not actually there on that particular page right now, you've got it for your reference. Okay. Because I'm a girl who would love to share with you as much as I can. And I don't want to overload you. Okay. So I want to be able to point you to that page so that if there's anything in particular that I mentioned today that you would be interested in as far as resources and checklists, things of that nature, you know exactly where to go. Okay, so that's number one. All right. We are going to talk about manifesting money into your business, and this is something in particular for entrepreneurs out there who are either just kind of getting started, right? Newbies when it comes to online entrepreneurship, or even those who are established but not quite where they want to be, right? Either you're feeling like your money is not at that next level and you're trying to get it to that next level, or it's not even consistent, right? Point being, there's something that you're struggling with respect to your revenue, and I want to talk to you about some smart ways to manifest more money into your business. Okay, so that's going to be potentially our focus conversation for today. Okay. Now, you may have to get the tissues out because sometimes I break this stuff down and things get emotional. So forgive me, if some tears come out. The last session that we did was a big one for quite a few ladies in my circle. So I don't want to hit anybody and hurt any feelings, but I certainly want to lay it all out on the table so we can get clear about what's blocking you and how you can bring more abundance into your life and into your business. First thing I'm going to say is this. If you're struggling, it's not because you have a money problem, right? And you may go, yeah, LaShanda, there's no money coming in. I have a money problem. No, you do not have a money problem. As an entrepreneur, we are idea generators. You don't have a money problem. You have an idea problem, okay? Your next cash flow surge actually is within your next great offer, okay? So it's about either identifying the best thing that you are going to create and put out into the world, right now, or even identifying the best that you've already created that you can put out into the world. Now, here's the deal. Saying best for some people is almost debilitating. Like, you feel like you're in a state of paralysis because maybe you haven't created anything or put anything out there because you're struggling to figure out, how do I out of the gates come out with the best thing ever? And here's the deal. It's not about creating the best thing ever. It's about creating your best right now. I'm going to tell you, when I look at some of the stuff that I created like 17 years ago, 10 years ago, I'm like, oh my God, like I cringe, right? I cringe, but I created it. I started it. I finished it. I completed it. I shared it, and I built on what I built. Okay. So if you are in a space where you're so stuck in this paralysis of it needs to be perfect, it needs to be the best before I put it out there, I need you to check that mindset, because that is affecting your ability to manifest money. Okay, that's the first part of number one. The first part of number one is basically taking a look at the fact that you don't have a money problem. You have an idea problem. Your next cash flow surge is going to come from the next best offer that is within you. That offer can be new, but it also can be something that's already in existence. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of that. I have for, I'm going to say about 7 years now, been building on this experience on Sister Sense, which I call the Sister Sense Circle. And one of the things that I do in the Sister Sense Circle is get my community together virtually several times a month so that I can share different ways to market, make money, and sell better online. I've been doing that for years now. And I said to myself, you know what? The current stage of what I'm doing in my community is my Firestarter Circle Mastermind, and we just finished 14 fabulous sessions. I'm talking about conversion marketing, online marketing, video marketing. I talked about sales funnels, how to create email challenges. Listen, blah, blah, blah. I did a lot of shit. Okay? And I looked at it and I said, you know what? I'm going to do something that I have not done in 2 years. I'm going to give what I like to call fire and focus for life, because I'm all about bringing out that fire in you, right? So it's called the Firestarter Circle. I have fire and focus for life, and entrepreneurs have the opportunity to get a lifetime pass inside of my mastermind. Okay. Now, let me say this. My mastermind is at the base level, $47 a month. Right? And so ladies are participating in my virtual sessions. We do mastermind calls and webinars and talk about different money marketing and sales each month. And then there's a level above that where ladies are in my mentorship program, which is working with me one-on-one privately twice a month for $97. Okay, so that's monthly. And I'm saying, hey, you can basically get lifetime access to the mastermind so that you are consistently every single month working with me. Now, this is something that is ongoing. It's already created, right? Now, the reason why I'm sharing this example with you is because it's possible that you've got stuff that's ongoing or already created that's sitting there, or you don't know how to repackage it or repurpose it and put it out into the universe in a way that is like, yay, right? Like a cash flow surge for you. Okay. So I said, you know what? Again, I haven't done this in 2 years. This, by the way, is over at sistersense.com/life. This is fire and focus for life, right? So I said, I hadn't done it for 2 years. I sent out to a small group on my email list, and I said, listen, if you want to get lifetime access to the mastermind, here it goes. Go to sistersense.com/life, sign up, and you get everything in there, right? Immediately, you know, people are like, oh my God, this is exactly what I need right now, right? So that's something that I already created, and people are signing up on a monthly basis to participate either with the group or to work with me one-on-one. But me taking this thing that's monthly and now saying, hey, look, if you want it, get everything and all that I have inside of this group for life. There's this surge of people going, oh my goodness, I want that forever and ever. And you're giving it to me in this nice, beautiful little bundle, and I never have to pay a subscription again. Yes, right? So let me tell you some numbers, okay? I want you to think about some of the products that you have and how much you charge. Let's crunch the numbers here, okay? Which brings me to number 2. Number 1, like I said, it's all about really thinking about the fact that you don't have a money problem, you have an idea problem, understanding what new offer or existing offer you're going to create, right? Or repurpose out there to help you manifest money into your business. Number 2, you have to set and work towards clear revenue goals every single day. You have to have revenue goals that you're working towards. You just can't blindly create and put stuff out there and chase for money and hope that this works. And if this didn't work, then you try this tomorrow. And if that didn't work, then you try. You have to be intentional. Chasing money is not an option as a business owner. At the end of the day, the hustle has to turn into an actual stable business, right? I really get in the beginning that hustle, bustle, but eventually you've got to get to the point where you're intentional, you're clear, you're established, and you don't feel like you have to hustle all the time, which means that you've got to set daily clear revenue goals that you're working towards. So let's take this example of fire and focus for life and crunch some numbers. So I said to myself, you know what? Yearly membership is a little under $600 at $47 a month for the Firestarter Circle Mastermind. So I said, you know what? I am going to do Fire and Focus for Life just for a week because, I haven't done it in 2 years. Let me just kind of bring this out for a week and see, who is interested. And at $497, that's a great price point, especially because it's about $100 or $200 less than a whole year in the circle, right? And then you're going to get multiple years. And I said, you know what? I have ladies in my circle who just absolutely I love and I love working with. And I'm sure that this is something that some of them would be interested in. So again, I kind of soft launched it and shared it with my community and said, listen, for the next couple of hours, 24, 48 hours, you can go to sistersense.com/life and get Fire and Focus for Life, get access to the mastermind, get the last 12 months of the trainings, get all of this stuff for $297 versus the $497. And then at that point, in a couple of days, it's going to go from $297 to $497. Okay. So those are the two price points, right? And here are some numbers to take a look at. And these are very small numbers, by the way. I love to work in small numbers because I'm a small business owner, and I'm about creating practical, right? I never want to be that person who is like, oh yeah, get 10,000 views and 100,000 this and da-da-da. That's not my world. That's not the world that I live in. And I work with a lot of entrepreneurs who have very, very small circles and small lists. So I try to work with small numbers so I can show you how this is actually realistic. And if you work towards getting better at sales and getting better at really creating genuine connections with people online, these numbers can actually work for you. Okay, so let's look at $297, which is roughly $300, right? If 10 people say, yes, I want Fire and Focus for Life, I have to check because actually this is happening right now as I'm sharing this message with you. This is Fire and Focus is launched this weekend. If 10 people say yes, I have to see what the number is at this point. That's $3,000. Okay. Now, if 30 people say yes, that's $9,000, right? So think about that. I'm only doing the $297 rate for the next 24 hours at most, depending upon interest. I might stretch that to 48 hours. But that's a finite period. Think about generating $3,000 to $9,000 within 48 hours. You can manifest money in your business. You do not have a money problem. Again, you have an idea problem, and some of that isn't necessarily you trying to rack your brain to create something new. Some of that is you really figuring out how to package and repurpose the amazing that you already have created. Okay, now that's the $297 price point. Let's take a look at $497, which is roughly $500, okay? Because after the 24, 48 hour period, for about 5 days or so, I'm going to keep it up there for $497 and then close it, right? Because that's just what I'm going to do. And so at $500, if 10 ladies sign up at $500, that's $5,000, right? If 30 ladies opt to sign up at $500, that's $15,000. $15,000 in less than a week, because at most 7 days, and then I'm taking this down. Okay, now I'm sharing that with you because I'm going to be honest with you. I am a full-time entrepreneur. I work at home. I've been working at home for 10 years now, but I've been in this online business building world for almost 2 decades. And when I started, I was working a 9-to-5. When I was working a 9-to-5, I was barely bringing in $13,000 a year. I say barely. And I'm living in North Carolina right now, and the cost of living is significantly less than what it was when I was living in Brooklyn in New York. Okay? So I want you to think about that, right? Being able to bring in $15,000 in a week when I was back in the day barely making $30,000 in a year. You do not have a money problem, you have an idea problem. And you have to figure out how to package, produce, and put out your content in a way that's going to get people excited about working with you. Okay? Those are 2 price point levels, $297 and $497. I'm talking about 2 sales numbers, a 10 sale goal and a 30 sale goal, which again can generate anywhere between $3,000 to $15,000. Now, listen, I'm talking about $15,000 over the course of a week. I've been able to hit $15,000 in an hour. That's another story for another day. But the point is, this is something that is realistic. And I'm selling my services. I'm selling my information. I'm selling my mastermind, my membership, my mentorship program, my digital content, my web services as a web designer. I'm not selling smoke and mirrors. I'm not, I'm not selling MLM. There's nothing against MLM programs. Let me just say that as a side note. If it's something that you fundamentally believe in and love and use, go for it. But my point is, I'm not telling you that there's some magic wand, magic thing that you can go and sell and make, 4, 5, 6 figures. I'm telling you that you can sell your information, your time, and people can work with you within small numbers of literally somewhere between 10 to 30, and you can sustain, you can create real revenue, you can manifest money, right? I'm telling you this because that's what I do as an entrepreneur, and that's what God has blessed me to be able to do. Again, I've been working at home for myself over the last 10 years and working online for 17 plus years at this point, almost 2 decades, right? I still look fabulous. I'm sure you do too, right? But my point here is to focus on sharing with you what works for me so that you can find a happy medium to the space of what's going to work for you. Like I said, I want you to make sure that you write down sistersense.com/922, because essentially everything that I share with you today, as far as resources and strategies and examples, you'll be able to get access to those links on that particular site. Okay. And I don't know when you're going to hear this particular message. If, Fire and Focus is something that interests you, if it's still there, great. If it's not, I'm sorry. You can wait until it comes back around next year. Opportunities do expire, but that is currently an opportunity that I'm sharing. And to me, it's a great example of something that I've already created, of something that works. And that's for a small group, of something that you can kind of use as an example to get excited about what you could possibly do as well. I'm an idea girl. That's what I do. I help folks make sense of making money online. That's what Sister Sense is all about. So that's number 2, right? Number 3 is I want you to really focus on a small group of people that you're trying to serve. One small group at a time. I actually was having a clarity call of one of my clients a few days ago, and she talked about, okay, LaShanda, there are 3 different things that I'm trying to work on right now. Plus, I have my 9 to 5. Plus, I am homeschooling. Plus, I am a human, right? And sometimes I just kind of want to curl up and sit in a corner and sleep. I want to just take a nap. I'm exhausted. I want to do these 3 different businesses outside of what I do with my kids and what I do for my 9 to 5. I'm exhausted. And I said, real talk, you need to focus on one. You need to put your foot in one. You need to get that one right. And once you feel like that one is where you need it to be, then you can work on the next one. Okay? You got to phase in your greatness. You cannot do all at all the time. It's just not going to work. Because if you do that, of course, you're frustrated, you're tired, you're fatigued, but you're not putting your all into each one the way you need to. Okay? I'm a web designer, and I'm going to be honest with you, I have a ton of websites. If I just focus on Sister Sense for the next year or 2, that's just what it needs to be. Actually, during the summer, I spent about 2 to 3 months focused on one of my other platforms, Bright Colors, and then I went back to Sister Sense, right? But I can't I can't juggle 15 different websites at one time. I have to make sure that I'm really putting my foot in one, the automation, the sales, and everything else is where it needs to be before I go to the next one. So number 3 is, if you want to manifest more money, you've got to focus on one product at a time, but really one small group at a time. Okay? So I'll give you an example of this. Going back to Fire and Focus for Life, before I decided to jump on here and share this success session with you, I actually was on a call. A young lady saw Fire and Focus for Life and inboxed me. She said, oh my God, LaShanda, I think this is what I need. And I just need to ask you a few questions. Can I talk to you? Normally, by the way, I don't do impromptu calls. Most people schedule clarity calls with me. But something just said to me, you know what? It's early in the morning. I've got the time. Fine. So I said, okay, here's my conference call line. I'm going to jump on there for 10 minutes. And if you get this message, awesome. Jump on there. I'll answer any questions that you have. And of course, if you can't get on that call with me, you can email me. Well, as luck would have it, she jumped on the call. She was like, "Oh my God!" So she jumped on the conference call. I think this was about 7:30, some close to 8 o'clock this morning, right? So she said, "Listen, I am just like a boss at what I do, and I'm tired of these people, especially $1 million key influencer people in my circle, telling me you know way too much for you to not monetize this and make more money." And especially because she said to me, whatever it is that she's selling, she's selling in about 2 or 3 different states. And she's like, I need to get online so I can start to reach more people and really monetize my information. Do you feel like this is something that is worthwhile? And do you feel like your Fire and Focus for Life is something that would work for me? So I said to her, absolutely, because one of the things that I focus on is marketing, right? So we just recently did a video marketing session. We did a video marketing challenge about 2 months ago. And I said, as part of Fire and Focus for Life, you're going to not only get lifetime access to all the things that we're doing in the future, but the last 12 months, all those trainings, you get instant access to video marketing, conversion marketing, sales funnels, email automation, drip campaigns. And she was like, okay, listen, stop. You had me at dot. She was like, listen, I'm good. I'm ready. Right. I say that because one of the things that she kept saying over and over to me on the call was, you don't understand. When I got your email, it was like perfect timing. It was like divine timing. And I am so ready to do this. And, it's budget friendly. I can get access to this and perfect timing, perfect timing, perfect time. She just kept saying that. I believe that everything happens in divine right timing. We hear what we need to hear at the right time because I'm a spiritual person. I believe God speaks to us directly and through the people and the experiences that just come across us every day, right? I believe in the power of divine right timing. So I was just smiling and shaking my head listening to this young lady say to me, LaShanda, I'm ready. I'm so ready. I'm going to get off the call. I'm signing up and I'm yay, right? This Fire and Focus opportunity that I created is not for everybody, right? There are people who are going to be like, oh, okay, that's fine. That's cool. Pass, right? There are people who are going to be like, you know what? Oh my God, I would love to do that at $297, let alone $497, but my budget would not permit me to. So, LaShanda, I'm going to sign up to your mastermind for $27 this month and then do the 47 or do the 97. And, one day, God bless me, I will have $497 to get lifetime. What I created is not for everybody. You need to realize that. What you create is not going to be for everybody. You have to create something that's going to focus on a particular person and meet their needs. That is what I do. That's what allows me to manifest money. Really, every time I bring out an offer, it's for a specific person. Now, this is important because, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, manifesting money and thinking about your fears. This is important because I have people in my circle who will go, oh my God, I would never want to charge $500 for something because folks are going to come to me and say, I can't afford it. Guess what? I understand that. But if you want to manifest more money in your life, you have to stop being afraid of people who tell you they can't afford it. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I used to be that person. I used to have anxiety, serious anxiety around charging because I felt like if I charged too much, I would lose my existing people, number one. And number two, I wouldn't be able to consistently get people to come in at higher price points. But guess what? If you want to manifest more, M-O-R-E, money into your life, you can't play it small. If you want that person who's going to give you $10,000 today, they're not going to come to you if all you have is $10 products today. I need you to be clear about that, and I need you to understand that. You've got to be able to create different types of offers for different types of people. And it doesn't mean that what you're promoting right now is for everybody right now. It means that what you're promoting right now is for the right bodies. Your focus is not, again, on everybody, but the right bodies. Okay? I want you to think about that. Think about whatever it is that you're trying to create right now, and you might be roadblocking yourself because you're like, okay, well, it doesn't appeal to this person, it doesn't appeal to that person, and this price point will work for this person, but it won't work for you. So you stuck in spinning your wheel modes because you're like, it's not appealing to everybody. I can't put it out there yet. It's never going to appeal to everybody. It has to appeal to the right body. The best way I can explain this to you is my cereal example. If you've never heard it before, you'll get excited. Okay, my cereal example is simply this: when you go down the aisle in the supermarket, you don't see one cereal box. There's the box for gluten-free, there's the box for the kiddies, there's the box for the people who like raisins, there's a box for the people who like nuts, there's a box for the people who like 15 different colors, the college student who wants to have 15 different colors in their mouth at 2 o'clock in the morning when they're trying to binge, study for a test. There's something for every type of person in the cereal aisle. I'm able to consistently maintain and grow and thrive my business because I am always about, when I create a new offer, it doesn't have to appeal to everybody, just one specific type of person. Let's go back to number 2 when I said to you, you've got to set specific revenue goals on a daily basis. You create an offer for one type of person, you can get 10 to 20 to 30 sales, generate 4 figures, 5 figures, 6 figures, right? Whether it be a matter of hours or days or months. Real talk, it might take you a couple of months to hit these numbers, but you hit them. You hit them. And that's what's important, right? But that requires strategy, intention, and clarity. Strategy, intention, and clarity. That brings me to number 4. Number 4, I want you to stop focusing strictly on new money. I used to do that when I was a newbie. I used to be like, okay, great. I did that website for you. Great. You bought my ebook. Great. I need to go on social media. I need to do social networking. I need to get more people. I need to get more people. There's something about vanity numbers on social media that drives all of us to literally drink. The vanity numbers. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you think about your numbers as far as your email list or your customer base or your social following, and then you look at other people and you're like, oh my God, that says 1.2 thousand. Oh my God, that says 8.9 thousand. Oh my God, that says 150,000 and I've got like 50. Right? And so those vanity numbers that you're seeing, especially on these social platforms and Facebook ads and Instagram and all these other platforms, those vanity numbers have got you caught up in your feelings so much that you're like, this is not going to work, or this is not enough. And I've got to keep going. I've got to keep getting new people. I'm not satisfied with my money. I was on a clarity call with a client and she was like, you know what, LaShanda, I'm tired of Wheels Up. I'm tired of vendor tables. I'm tired of going to events. I'm tired of always having to be on. I need what I've got right now to work for me. I need it to work better for me. And I said, boo, you got to start repurposing the best that you've already created. I'm tired of telling you. Stop trying to come up with the new next thing. I want you to stop focus on chasing new money and focus on the money that you've brought in 2 ways. Number 1, that brings me back to repurposing the amazing you've already created, right? Fire and focus for life. I have been perfecting and master tweaking my mastermind for more years than I can honestly tell you. My mastermind started off as $7 a month. And I'll probably at some point bring back something at a $7 level because folks love it. But $7 a month to, right now, again, it's $47 for the Firestarter Circle. It's $97 for the Insider Circle. Then there's a $300 level for clients who not only want to be a part of my virtual and talk to me one-on-one, but every month they have me on retainer. I do their graphics. I help them with content. I help them, put together digital stuff or put together emails and sales pages. That's $300 a month. It started off as a $7 community. I'm sharing that with you because, again, I have worked on mastering my master plan, and then I continue to tweak it. You can't find yourself in a space where you're always chasing new people or you're always creating a new product. You need to make what you've made better. It has to have a version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 10.0. Kind of reminds me of WD-40. And I was so amazed when I learned that the reason why it is called WD-40 is because it's the 40th try, the 40th attempt at creating this that actually worked. So that's the one that they put out there, right? You've got to keep trying and tweaking and improving what you've got. I hesitate on the word perfection because for some people, perfection is like this ongoing pause. Like they never want to put anything out there because it has to be perfect. But listen to me, perfection comes in the process, right? I think right now, folks are all up in arms about iPhone 8, iPhone 10, whatever the hell the iPhone is. Hey, guess what? Before iPhone, there was iPod, right? Before iPhone 8, there was 7, there was 1, there was 2. You have to get better at making what you've already made work for you. Stop being in recreate new mode. That's number one. Number two, stop chasing new money from new customers and feeling like, I made a couple of sales off of that. I was all right. Okay, next thing. Double down. Double down on two things. Number one, the customers who paid for what you got. You so over, because you're so itching to get new money, right? You're so over them. You're so over that little money because you see you got your eyes on some bigger mental prize, right? You're so frustrated that you're not seeing how fabulous it was that somebody said yes, that somebody took your offer, that somebody invested in your greatness. You need to go back and show them how much you value and care for them. Those people, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm telling you, this is not just what works for me. This is what works for multi-million-dollar and billion-dollar companies. Those people who bought your stuff are the people who will sustain your business. I don't know if you've ever heard about the 80-20 rule, but guess what? 100% of your business, 20% of those people in that business is what sustains it. The other 80%, they come and go. It's 20%. If you've got people who bought stuff from you and you sitting there trying to figure out what's the new thing to create, when was the last time you reconnected with the people who bought stuff from you in the past? I'm telling you right now, there are a combination right now of, and I can't wait to, after the weekend is over, see how many people have, decided that Fire and Focus for Life is for them. Again, it's over at sistersense.com/life. I don't know when you're going to listen to this audio, if it's still going to be there. But I really care about the ladies in my community. And, there are some ladies who, they've been with me for a long time, right? And they go, oh my God, LaShanda, this is amazing. Thank you. And then there are some ladies, like the young lady who I spoke to this morning, who is relatively new to me, right? She's like, where you from? How long you been doing this, right? How can this help? Maybe she said to me, I've been following you and listening or, reading your emails, little things like that, but never necessarily got something from me like this. So this will be her first something from me, right? But the reality is this, for every one person that's new, you've got 10 people who they fundamentally love everything that you do, and you're not doing enough for them. Literally leaving money on the table because you're not, and you're so up, fixated either on vanity numbers or your frustration around needing money now, or whatever the case may be, that you're leaving them. You're dismissing them. Oh yeah, I know I opened such and such and I sold and maybe 20 or 30 people bought it, but whatever, I'm on to the new. Go back to those 20 or 30 people. Your business is going to grow with consistency, with retention. I don't know if I mentioned this, but every year I have something called the Back to Business Virtual Conference over at backtobusiness.me. And one of the things I'm talking about is how to, this year anyway, is how to start and grow and generate sales with a small list and a small social following. That's my particular topic. There are 12 entrepreneurial women, really successful powerhouse women who are speaking as part of Back to Business this year. And my session is helping people get clear about how to effectively profit from a small list, right? Big results from a small list. That's my session. I share that with you because that's what you have to focus on. You have to focus on not just chasing new money, but if you want to consistently manifest money, really doubling down, taking a good look at those people who've invested in you, number one, so that you can continue to share value with them. And if they want to come back, you've got to consistently retain your clients, right? And then number two, understanding how to create anew what you've already created. Breathe life into the greatness that you've already created. Build on what you've already built. I am the repurposed queen. And I will keep that title, and I will tilt my crown to the side until the day I die, because that is what allows me to consistently, in practical ways, manifest money. And I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I talk to clients and I say, okay, well, listen, you've got this. You need to repurpose it. You need to put it out there. You need to get people to buy it. And you know what I hear? And you might have said this yourself. Yeah, I know, LaShanda, but I got to tweak it. I got to do it over. Nobody's going to want to buy that. I don't. Listen, you will find a way or find an excuse. You will find a way or find an excuse. And if you self-sabotage and talk yourself out of the value that other people bought, that means you're not seeing enough value in you. It's not external that's blocking your money. It's you. You've got to check yourself on what's making you resistant to putting that out there and doing that consistently. There are things that I've created. Listen, again, I've been doing this for double-decker, almost 2 decades, almost 20 years. There's stuff that I created, listen, I don't know ago, that still sells well for me. I'm going to give you a great example of that. I don't know if you've ever read the book 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. Do you know how old that book is? One of my favorite devotional series is Jesus Calling. I believe it's Sarah Young who created the Jesus Calling series. Do you know how long ago Sarah created that book? Come on, you got J.K. Rowling. Look at Harry Potter. You know how much money this woman has made? How many people are looking at Harry Potter for like it's the new thing since sliced bread, and they don't know that this thing has been in existence for how many years? You looking at your stuff like it's old, it's dated, ain't nobody even gonna want that. You are blocking your money. Again, whether you repurpose it and just kind of reuse what you've already created or zhuzh it up, right, to give it some new, fresh pop, you got to do something. If you want to position yourself for profit consistently, stop, number 4, strictly chasing new money. Number 5, stop being in a space where you do more ABG than ABC. Okay? I'm the acronym girl, by the way. One of the things I talk about is being in a space where you really understand that you're not just a creator, but you're a seller, which means that you, whether you like it or not, have to get better at marketing and sales, which is what I teach in my mastermind. I help people, I help women, especially women who don't understand technology and don't understand selling. I help you get comfortable with these things that somehow feel uncomfortable with you, that are blocking your ability to live in your purpose and position yourself for profit. So as a marketer, right, one of the things that is very common among marketers is ABC, which is a term called always be closing, right? Always be closing. Always be in a space where you are closing and bringing money into your business. Now, as someone who is consistently helping other entrepreneurs, other women make sense of making money online, I'm always like, listen, you got to ABC, always be closing. But what I find a lot of times is people are in a space where they ABG, always be giving. Either out of fear, because they don't want to price, they don't want to talk about money, so they're just giving a lot of stuff for free. Or out of trends, because everybody's talking about freebies and things of that nature, which works. But they're doing freebies the wrong way. They're giving a lot of stuff away for free, but it's not working for them. Or out of frustration. You know, sometimes I talk to clients and they're so excited about selling and making money, and then all of a sudden somebody says, well, can I get it for free? Can I barter? Can I get a discount? And then out of frustration, they just ABG give it away because they're looking for a happy hit. They're looking for that person to say, oh my God, thank you so much. You're so great. Your stuff is so amazing. They can't sell it. So it's better to just give it away for free and feel good about that. But then that is only momentary. Because you give it away for free, you get those compliments, you get those yays, and then you look at your bank account and you're like, shit, nobody's actually buying. You're still frustrated, right? Number 5, you want to manifest more money. You have to stop ABG, always be giving, so that you can ABC, always be closing. Now, keep in mind, I'm a freebie girl. I do audios, I do webinars, I do free ebooks. I do, free downloads. I do a lot of stuff for free because mama didn't raise no fool. I understand that free can strategically help you grow your business. But the reality is this: you have to learn how to get paid with free. Do you understand me? If what you're doing right now, you're giving stuff away for free and it ain't doing nothing for your bottom line, you're doing free wrong. Side note, I have something called my Simplify, Serve, and Sell workbook and challenge over at sistersense.com/simple. I talk about EACs to sales. EACs are 6 sales strategies that I have defined. I say all the time, at the end of the day, you may know your ABCs, but you need to know your EACs if you want to sell. Okay? Now, when I talk about the EACs, one of the things I share is getting paid with free. How you strategically do that. Because if you are in a space where you're giving stuff away and it's not working, and then momentarily it feels good, but then after that it feels, I don't want to use the word, I want to keep this PC, but it feels effed up after a while, because after you give away all that free stuff, you're still left with an empty bank account. Something has to change. Manifesting your money means ABC, always be closing. And I'm going to share with you some strategies around that in a second, okay? So keep listening to me. But we're going to touch on what that means to always be closing in a second. But one of the things that I want to immediately share with you is that in order for you to always close, you have to be in a state where you consistently sell. Now, I always share a personal acronym that I've created, which is always have something to S. Always have something to say, always have something to share, and always have something to sell. Are you afraid to sell? Are you confused about what selling means? I worked with a client one day, not one day, but I worked with a client over time, one of my private clients, and she said to me one day, it's a better way to phrase it, she said to me one day, LaShanda, Simplify, Serve, and Sell changed my life, and I'm going to tell you why. I thought that when I was, because we worked together, we've been working together for maybe about 2 years now. She said to me, I thought that back in the day when I was putting up a website, when I was building a store, when I was sending out emails, I thought that was selling. Just me putting the site up was selling. Just me putting the store up was selling. I didn't realize that I was supposed to be actively talking to people, actively talking about my products, actively connecting and resonating and EAC, empathizing with people. I didn't realize that there was a system to selling. Number one, because I thought that me just putting up the store and the site and just talking to people and saying, hey, hey, this is who I am. I thought that was selling. Number one. Number two, I thought that selling, because number one, I thought I was doing it, and because I wasn't bringing any money, I thought I sucked at it. I thought that that was selling, and because I just put up the website and I was waiting for people to buy, I thought that I was doing it wrong. And number two, I looked at other people and said, okay, well, like you're great at it, you're selling. Some people are just natural sellers, and I'm not. So then I was frustrated. I didn't realize that I didn't have to be a natural seller, because one of the things that I teach in Simplify, Serve, and Sell is how to make the process of selling feel natural. Feel natural. Some of you, sometimes you try to sell and you just feel awkward. You feel like people are looking at you like you've got 3 heads and you're stuttering and you don't know what to say. You feel like you're saying everything wrong. Selling is not something that they know how to do right and you naturally can't do. Everyone doesn't have to be a born seller, but you can become a brilliant seller. I'm telling you from the perspective of me being a social introvert. I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to sell my stuff. I just wanted to create the hell out of stuff and then have it sell itself, right? Or just give people so much information that they just fell over themselves and bought my stuff, right? But I learned very quickly that that was not selling. Giving people so much information that just kind of eventually compels them to buy, that is not selling. Because guess what? You do ABG, give people a whole bunch of information, and you know what they're going to do? They're going to say, girl, I love you. Take that and walk away. If you do not know how to strategically sell, or if you've ever tried to overgive, if you've ever tried to over ABG, You know exactly what I'm talking about. Unless you know how to intentionally and strategically talk about your products and sell, you're not going to manifest the kind of money that you want. If you're giving away for free and it's not working for you, you're not doing it the right way. So here's the deal. Number 6, you need to cultivate a list of buyers. You need to cultivate a list of buyers, which simply means this. I get it. People say, go and make that opt-in offer, create that freebie, sell the freebie, rather get people sold on your freebie, your free course, your free challenge, your free report. Yay, get them sold on that freebie, right? Here's the deal. All the contests and freebies and giveaways in the world, they're not going to work for you unless you know how to work creating and cultivating a list of buyers. Let's go back to that 80-20 rule. Only 20% of the people in your circle, if that much, maybe for you, if you got a small circle, maybe 1 or 2%, 3% of the people in your circle are actually going to buy. Most of the people are going to take the freebie and walk away. If you know what I'm saying, I need you to understand that you've got to cultivate a list of buyers. What was the last thing that you sold? Go back and sell that again. Why did people like it? What did they say about it? Was somebody on your list who bought that thing saying, you know what, man, I love this, but can you do this or this? Or do you always have, or do you also have da-da-da-da? I used to be resistant to that question, by the way. I love this, but can you also? I tripled my revenue when I started to listen to clients who said, can you also? And I started to create stuff for them. Clients who at the time would pay me $100, I then said, hey, listen, I'm going to do all of this for you for $6,000. And they said, I will take it. And my mouth was on the floor. Because I was sitting there not realizing that I was a part of the problem. I'm sitting here like, man, I'm selling this stuff at low price points, but how come I'm not making enough money? Or how come I'm not? Then I realized that I needed some more HPPs, high product offers, high price point offers. And I didn't necessarily have to create HPPs for new people. Just by strategically listening to and cultivating a list of buyers, there were already people in my circle who were waiting for me to say, it's 5,000, it's 10,000, it's 15,000, let's go. They were waiting for me, but I was resistant because, one, I didn't want to do the work. Let's be real, I'm not even going to lie. Sometimes you don't want to make a bigger offer because you're like, Lord, that bigger offer is going to be so much work. But let me tell you something right now. 2, 3, I think when I launched my Do Everything For You package, when I launched it, I first started off with 3 clients, right? I had one client at 10,000, one client at 6,000, and one client at 3,000 because I had multiple levels, by the way. Being smart about how you put together your packages, that's a whole other story. But that's 3 clients, right? And so sometimes, I would be in my head like, oh, I don't want to put something like this out there. It's too much. It's too big. It's too much work. But guess what? First of all, I was happy that these clients wanted to work with me. And I don't know about you, but when you can say you brought in $15 or $20 or $30,000 working with 3 people, then you don't have to drive yourself crazy trying to figure out how to create a $7 product that's going to appeal to thousands of people. I'm just being honest with you. And then I could delegate and I can say, on any given time, I try to work with between, 3 to 5 people when it comes to my higher price point products and services. That allows me to strategically map out what I need to do for them and then work on my other stuff. But because the price point is so high, I'm not frustrated with the work. Yeah, the work is hard. Yeah, it's a lot of work. But I'm not frustrated with the work because the price point is just right for them and it's right for me. Remember, you're not here to reach everybody. I'm in the South now, so I got to put a couple of R's on that. You're not here to reach everybody. It's the right bodies. It's the right body. So if some of this is mindset stuff and you're like, oh, girl, I can't create something for $10,000. All my folks can get the funky face. It's not for all your folks. It's for the people who are waiting to receive your greatness and work with you on a level that other people can't. Also keep in mind this concept of, oh, well, I can't put that out there because everybody say they can't afford it. Everybody say they can't. You don't know everybody in your circle. You don't know everybody who's watching you. I have multi-million-dollar people watching me. I have multi-million-dollar companies watching me. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know all of them who are watching me. I remember one of the most amazing experiences was when I went to a Black Enterprise event. I was asked to go to a women's power networking event, as part of my brand, which is awesome, right? When you get to a status where your brand is so established that you've got these other companies that you look up to wanting you to come out to their events and talk about what they're doing. That's manifesting money right there. That's a whole other thing I'm going to talk about later, how you need to, if you want to change your life, you need to change your circle, right? And get the right people in your life. But what got me is that particular Black Enterprise event, one of many that I've gone to. I remember the time I met Lisa Price. That is in and of itself another story. Lisa Price is the creator of Carol's Daughter. Another story. Being able to talk to one of my idols and get a photo with her. And woo, okay, another story. Point being, I was in awe as far as how many people, whether they be workers or, higher up people in Black Enterprise who knew my name and who knew who Sister Sense was. I was surprised. I'm shaking hands, like introducing myself to people and like, yeah, I know you, girl. I know you. I know you, boo. I follow Sister Sense and I'm like, what? You don't know who's following you. I'm always surprised when I go to events and people are like, oh my God, it's Sister Sense. Can I take a photo? I love you. I've been following you. I am in awe every time. Pure humbled. Because for the most part, I'm sitting in front of my computer. I got my behind on the seat. I'm looking at the chair. I'm sitting on a chair. I'm looking at a computer. I'm putting all this stuff out into the virtual universe, which helps me consistently, through the grace of God, generate money. I don't know who's all is looking. You don't either. So in addition to being in a space where you're trying to do all this stuff to cultivate these lists of free people, right? Oh, I need to put $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 into Facebook ads so they can get my free ... Make sure that your free stuff has an awesome back end. One of the things that we talked about a couple of months ago in the Firestarter Circle Mastermind was sales funnels. So I said to you, over at sistersense.com/life, a part of Fire and Focus for Life is getting access to the live sessions, right? But also getting access to the last 12 months. Sales funnels. You need a funnel. Once you give people that freebie, you need to have an upsell offer. You need to consistently create an experience where you're talking to them for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. One of my clients, we just worked on putting together her first course ever. And she launched the course, she put her sales funnel together, and then she was like, oh my God, LaShanda, I got her first sale, my first sale, oh my God. I was smiling because, she emailed me, then she went in the mastermind group, then she went in she said, girl, I'm going in as many groups as I can tell. Because let me tell you something, that first sale, there's nothing like it. That first sale means, first of all, this is real. First of all, this is happening. First of all, you can do this. First of all, oh my God, people want this. That first sale is everything. It's everything. So you've got to make sure that when I say number 6, cultivate a list of buyers, that number 1, you're not just putting free stuff out there, you're consistently actually selling products. But number 2, if you are going to do an opt-in offer or a freebie, make sure that you've got your upsells and your sales funnels together. And if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, Google it or get in the damn mastermind so I can teach it to you. Okay? Because those things are going to help you grow. They're going to help you grow. Let's keep talking. You've probably heard my little printer man in the background. She's my little personal choir saying, yes, yes. Hopefully you are saying yes, yes too. Cultivate a list of buyers. That's what matters most. At the end of the day, I'm so adamant about teaching people how to get big results from small lists. Like I said, that's my session for backtobusiness.me, the virtual conference this year. One of 12 sessions, right? I'm so adamant about that because I'm going to be honest with you. There are people who have crazy followings online and they're making no money, zero money from that because they've cultivated these huge lists of people who vanity follow them, vanity numbers, right? Huge lists, but nobody buys, right? There are people who go out and either buy promotions so that they can buy names and buy followers. None of that means anything. I'm going to be honest with you. I would much rather have you have a list of 500 people who want what you've got and will buy from you than a list of 50,000 people that you paid to get who care nothing about what you've got, or a list of people you've cultivated on freebie stuff. And then once you try to sell them stuff, they get the funky face because they just got the free stuff and they're ready to go. At the end of the day, a very small percentage of those people who take the free are actually going to be able to buy, which means that you have to focus on cultivating your list of buyers if you want to manifest more money. That's the list that you need to work on. Number 7, do more of what works and stop trying to do the same thing expecting different results. Let me talk about that. I'm going to be honest with you right now. Let's have a moment of honesty in this number 7 conversation. Do more of what works. Stop doing the things that don't. I know where my gifts and talents lie. I know what works for me. I know what does not work for me. A very long time ago, I was very, very, very clear and certain that free consultations did not work for me, right? As a newbie entrepreneur, I was like, I'm trying to get my foot out there. I'm trying to get more people in the door. I was doing free consultations. I said they would be 15 minutes. Most of the time, they were 2 hours. I said I would talk about and sell my web design services. Most of the time, they turned into either free coaching or free therapy sessions. Real talk, if you know what that's like, raise your hand. Shake your head, raise your hand, do something, okay? I don't do free consultations. Again, it was just the Spirit of God that said to me, this young lady emailed me this morning and said, can I talk to you about this Fire and Focus lifetime experience that you've got? And I jumped on a free conference call with her. Folks, literally, they have to pay me $50 just to talk to me about building their website because I need to know that they're invested and they're serious. Also, I do that because I suck at free consultations. I know too damn much. I'm just being honest with you. I'm the type of person who, because I know so much, what I think is me just giving you 5 seconds of advice, for some people is like an encyclopedia. So I cannot help oversharing. I cannot help when my heart hurts. If somebody gets on a call and they get emotional and they're frustrated, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to do this for 15 minutes. And 15 minutes in, well, hell that, screw that, 30 minutes in, they're pouring out to me their frustrations, their fatigue, their lack of support. Then 92 hours later, I'm still giving them a free therapy session. I cannot help that. That is who I am. And I see that to some degree there is ministry in what I do when I share and motivate other women entrepreneurs to build their businesses based on what I've been able to do and accomplish in the last almost 2 decades. I say that to say this. I know I suck at free consultations, so I don't do them. I feel that when I do them, which is very rare, the Spirit actually takes me, and something about that particular person or the time, it just connects and it works well, but it's not what I do. I share that because you've got to identify for you the things that you keep doing over and 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 again because other people are doing it or other people are telling you to do it. If it ain't working for you, stop doing the same thing over and over and trying to expect different results. Case in point, when I realized that free consultations were not helping me, I was not getting web clients, and I was basically just doing coaching and therapy for free, I said, listen, you got to pay me $30 to $50 to get on a call to talk to me, right, about web services. And here's the deal. If you decide to work with me, I will credit you back that $50. Listen, I'm not trying to get rich off of these free consultations. I want to work with you and help you build your website. That was one of the things that I learned how to do. So I said, listen, it's going to technically be free because if you decide to work with me, I'm going to give you the $50 back, right? But if they decide not to work with me, guess what? I got $50 for that hour that I was talking to them and oversharing information and doing all this other stuff, right? One way or another, I feel compensated for my time, right? I'm giving you strategies without even actually getting on a call with you. This is you probably going, oh my God, LaShanda, wow, that makes sense. That works. I'm going to try that, right? Real talk. We ain't even on a clarity call. You didn't even drop $100 to talk to me. Keeping in mind that for some people, I have clients who come to me and say, oh my God, LaShanda, you are charging $100 and I'm getting gold, right? I'm getting gold. I'm talking to you for an hour. I'm talking to you for 90 minutes. I'm talking to you for 2 hours. Folks are giving nothing for 500, for 5,000, for 1,000. Listen, I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm just confident in knowing what I know and what my gifts are. That is what you need if you want to manifest money. You want to manifest money. You want to do more of what works. Get confident in your gifts and what your skills are. What works, what doesn't. Free consultations didn't work for me. You probably a boss at it. You probably could do free consultations in your sleep. You probably like, listen, I get you, I got you, but your 15 minutes are up. Now you're on the clock. I'm going to invoice you $100 for anything past this point. That's not me, but I have clients who that's their personality, right? And they know how to hit it, quit it, not give away too much too soon, right? I'm that information giver. I'm like, yes, do this, baby girl. Yes, I'm that crier, right? You know, I could go on Facebook and see a movie and start crying in 5 minutes. I was good and laughing 2 seconds ago. All of a sudden, you got this video on Facebook, got me crying. I'm all up in my feelings. I know because of those things, free consultations don't work for me. Doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. Doesn't mean that those don't work. It just does. It just means it doesn't work for me. Facebook ads. Now, there's a nuance to it. Some people it works for it. I'm being honest with you. Most people that I've talked to, it doesn't. Most people, you got to put some serious numbers into it, right? 10, 15, 20,000. Now, you got to put some crazy numbers into it to see something out of it. For most people, if they do get anything out of it, it's more so vanity. Like, ooh, look how many people watched my video. Look how many people opted into my free offer. And then 2 of them bought, right? I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings. I'm just trying to be real. I know that for me, while, you know, every now and again, I might boost a post or try a little something. Facebook advertising in and of its whatever, unless I go and pay somebody else to do it for me, that's not my gift. So I stay in my lane. Case in point, one of the ladies in my circle, Charvette Mitchell, is going to be speaking as part of backtobusiness.me, and she's going to talk about Facebook marketing and how to really rev it up and get it to work for you. I mean, Charvette gets a lot of people seeing her stuff, and she's able to successfully fill out her events and get new clients using Facebook. Again, I'm not saying that it doesn't work for everybody. I'm saying it doesn't work for me. I don't know how to do Facebook ads the way somebody else does. So number one, right, for Back to Business, I make sure that I get experts in who actually get results and know how to do it right. That's number one that I like to do. But number two, I stay in my lane, because when you stay in your lane, there won't be no traffic. I don't try to just blindly blow, which is sometimes I work with people who just say, okay, well, you know, I'm not going to pay somebody else to do it. I'm just going to put $500 or $600 into it and see what happens. I'm not just going to blindly blow money into something that is not my gift that I'm not clear on. I'm going to get the right people around me who know how to do it right. So I said, okay, Charvette, you know this Facebook marketing thing. She teaches it with her eyes closed. She does it and successfully gets it to work for her. Like I said to you a few minutes ago, most people don't. Most people don't know how to do Facebook advertising. So if you want to do it right, you got to make sure you got the right people around you, either to do it for you or to tell you how to strategically make it work for you, right? You got to do more of what works and stop trying to teach yourself or blindly do the same thing over and over and over again if it's not working. Now, I'm telling you real talk, full disclosure, the things that I know don't work for me. Why? Because I don't do them. I don't do Facebook ads, right? Again, you're lucky if I'm putting $3 in today. Okay? I'm very much an organic growth kind of a girl. That works for me. That might not be what you need right now. I don't do free consultations. Let me tell you what does work for me. Live stream. When I jump on live stream and strategically every day for 20, 30, 40 days I'm on, I bring in an extra $300 to $500 in my business every day. Live stream works for me. I don't work it all the time because I'm working all the time. And so I strategically do other things like email automation or audio. But when I use live stream, it works for me. Video marketing works for me. I love to sit down and do pre-recorded videos and upload them to my YouTube and to my Facebook. Video marketing works for me. I double down and consistently do those things that work for me. Like I said, over the course of this weekend, I don't know, again, when you're going to see it. If you go see it over at sistasense.com/life, my Fire and Focus for Life opportunity, that whole experience, the first thing I did after I posted it was I shared it with a very small group of women on my email list. Email marketing works for me. Going back to number 2, which was really getting clear about your numbers, anywhere between 10 to 30 sales can consistently, ideally depending upon the price point, let's just be clear about that as well, the price of the offer, anywhere between 10 to 20, 30 sales, and I'm happy at any given time. I'm going to be honest with you, right? Sometimes I shoot for the 100 sales or 200 sales or 3, depending upon if it's like a low price point product, it's just like $70 or $20. I'm like, all right, let's try to get 100 sales or 200 sales for that particular thing if it's an LPP. But if it's an HPP, if it's a couple hundred or a couple thousand, 2, 3, 10, 5, I'm good, right? So you've got to figure out what works for you. Number 7, do more of that. Do more of that. I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes your passion becomes a pain. And you say, okay, well, I know that when I get on calls, that works. Or I know that when I go to events, that works, right? But I don't want to do that anymore, right? I'm going to be honest with you. One of the things that works for me is building websites. My last product, I think, was about $5,000. And the most recent product, the last one that I completed, the one that I'm working on right now, that was a $1,500 product. So for me, I'm able to consistently generate, 1,000, 1,500, 5,000, 3,000 from my web projects, right? There used to be a time that I hated web design. It became a serious pain. Number 1, because I was doing a lot of work. I was building websites that I now charge at minimum $1,000 for. I was doing them for like $300 or $400. No joke. No joke. So I was charging little to nothing and being frustrated because I'm the one who set the numbers. I'm the boss, and I'm mad at folks because I'm not getting enough money. That was my problem, not theirs. You want to manifest more money, you have to do more of what works. And I knew that building websites worked for me. So I said, you know what? Outside of this digital content, because this is cool information and selling information products and courses and all that stuff is cool. But my HPPs, that's where my money is, right? Me getting to 6 figures, my HPPs, that's where my money is. And so I figured out how to change it so my passion stopped being a pain. I had to identify what was wrong. One of the things that was wrong was me charging $300 for something that I should have been charging $1,000 for, but I was too afraid. I fought that fear. I figured it out. I did what I needed to do, and I got people to buy immediately. I'm not talking about, it took me a while. I'm talking about the minute I started charging more, there were people in my community that I didn't even realize were waiting for me because I didn't have something for them. I was not speaking to them. I just kept being in a space of fear and anxiety, speaking to people who either couldn't afford me or, to be honest with you, they were real tight with their funds. So if I was going to give them all my best for $200, they ain't going to tell me they paid $2,000 for it. They ain't going to get it for $200. They're like, damn, I'm getting a steal. I'm getting a deal. I'm not trying to wake her up. I need her to stay asleep. When she stays asleep, she stay cheap, right? Keeping it real. You have to be in a space where you identify what's working, what's not working, right? Fix the things that don't work or just simply get rid of them. Double down on the things that do work. And if the things that work are giving you anxiety or pain or frustration, you have to figure out where that pain and frustration is coming from so you can make it better. I never thought I would be able to get $10,000, $15,000, $5,000 from one product. I had to work through the anxiety and the fear to create those products and attract those kind of people that allowed me to manifest more money. I never thought that people would buy those things from me. I never thought that. Half the time I'm like, well, you can't afford that, so nobody else is going to afford it. Why are you putting your pocket on somebody else's pocket? I know, real talk. I tell people I started off on a floss string budget, right? My budget was not even shoestring, it was floss string. So I had that mindset of, well, when I started, I couldn't afford it. So the people coming to me, they can't afford it either. No. There are people right now making 6 and 7 figures who need your whatever, making $1 million plus, who needs your whatever, and they so can afford it. Why are you studying and thinking that because you are in a space of lack, everybody who comes to you is in a space of lack? I had to get out of that. Do what works for you. You've got to. Remember, I said to you, number 1 on this list was you do not have a money problem. You have an idea problem. One of the things that works fabulous for me is being smart and intentional when it comes to repurposing my content. That allows me to consistently generate revenue on the things that I've already created. It also allows me to consistently, on a quarterly basis, come out with something that is I like to call big, beautiful bundle that gets people in my circle excited, like, yes! And that generates sales surges. Your next cash flow surge is dependent upon you being able to create your next great offer. I cannot say that enough. Okay? I really want you to focus on how you can strategically do more of what works. And like I said, I would love to teach you how to build and get big results from a small list, even if you don't even have a list, how you can start and organically do this. That is what I'm teaching inside of backtobusiness.me. That's the virtual conference that I host every year, right? And if you're interested in checking that out and listening to that, whether it be live or via the replay, that's over at backtobusiness.me. Okay? So let's talk about this. What if you say, number 1, LaShanda, okay, I can identify what's not working, right? But I honestly can't identify what is working because nothing is working. Like, nobody is buying. Nothing's working. So, yeah. That's possible. It's possible that you say that to me. I'm going to share with you some of the practical things that I have done so that I can consistently ABC, always be closing. I said to you, I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. Here's that time. Let's say, for example, you are putting stuff out there, whether it be webinars or calls or emails or LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, and maybe nobody's buying, but people are commenting or people are sending you emails and asking you questions. Here's what you can do. 2 things. Number 1, directly talk to those people. There's nothing like direct communication. So if you find that most of the marketing you're doing is sending out one thing to many people, you've got to start having real-time, one-on-one conversations with people. So listen, I'm resistant to free consultations, but guess what? If somebody is, every time I post something for free or do a video and they're like, oh my God, LaShanda, I love that. Oh my God, that spoke to me. LaShanda, you're amazing. You know what I say to them? I want to talk to you. Email me. Let me know what you're doing. What's working for you? Where are you? What are you trying right now? Based on what they tell me, sometimes I'll say to them, you know what? I appreciate you for following. I understand what you're going through right now. I've created this, and I think this can actually help you. It costs X amount, but because I want to make sure that you get it and price is not an option, I want to give it to you for half off. Hell, I want to give it to you for 75% off. I want to see you succeed here. Now, keep in mind, I'm never in a space where I give initially to someone who has never bought anything from me. 9 times out of 10, I don't just give them something for free. Even if it's $1, you want to cultivate a list of buyers. Now, here's the deal. Do I give free stuff away? Yes, I do. You know, there are times when, I'll give you a great example of that. I want to say a couple of months ago, I got an email from a young lady who said, LaShanda, I'm working through your content to cash flows training. It's a training where I talk about how to create digital content and turn it into cash flow. It's actually one of the trainings that you get access to as part of Fire and Focus, because I've got a lot of information. So there are 27 courses that you get access to as part of Fire and Focus for Life. And Content to Cash Flow is a 3-part series. That's one of those courses. So anyway, she sent me a message and she said, LaShanda, I'm working through Content to Cash Flow. I created some of these products. Can you take a look? Okay. Real talk, I don't take a look at people's stuff unless they pay me. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm not trying to be funky. I'm not trying to be stink. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. That is just what I do. I need to be monetized, and that's what I do. I monetize. But listen, I am about genuinely seeing the women entrepreneurs in my circle succeed. So number one, I'm going to full disclosure, just like I'm doing with you right now, tell you exactly what works for me. Number two, I am going to invest in the people who invest in themselves and in me. The first thing that she said to me was, you know what, LaShanda, I am doing Content to Cash Flow. So she didn't just buy it and sit there and hope that because she bought it, something's going to happen. Real talk, I'm going to hurt somebody's feeling. How many of you spent way too much money on stuff that you never even used? She actually not even just purchased the product, but she used it. Listen, I'm already a fan. She already has me listening. So then I said, you know what? I'm going to review it. Yeah. I said to her, listen, I've got a lot going on right now, so give me the gift of patience. Within the next week or two, I will get back to you. And I did. I sat down and for an hour, I reviewed her content and I created an audio with as much feedback as I could give her, to her on exactly what she needed to do to improve that content. Okay? And guess what? That was me giving away for free what I charge. Honestly, for that audio review, I've got something called Price to Profit. And that audio review, I would have charged her close to $200 for that. And I gave it to her for free. Why? Because number one, she wasn't just a kind of, hey, LaShanda, I'm struggling right now. Can you help a sister out? No. And again, when the Spirit takes me, there are some messages like that that really hit me. And I do help a sister out. But again, as an entrepreneur and as somebody who takes my business and my skill set, as I take it, what's the word I'm looking for? I take it seriously. Sometimes you don't take yourself seriously and you're like, oh, okay, I take it seriously. That means, yes, there is a price point on what I do. You invest in you invest in working with me, and I will give you as much free as I can. So I gave her that audio response. And number one, she was excited about it. She was like, oh my God, thank you so much, LaShanda, this is so great. She dived into that. I spent an hour really taking a look and providing the best information and feedback that I could give her. To my surprise, a couple of weeks later, she signed up for a clarity call with me. You can get paid with free, right? My clarity calls are $50 for 30 minutes and $100 for 100 minutes. That's now. I don't know when you're going to hear this message. You may hear it when my clarity calls are $300 for 60 minutes, but those are the numbers now, and I don't intend on changing them at any point. But when I talk about this concept of getting paid with free, I didn't expect her at that point to go and get something else, but she did. She went to callme.sense.com. She signed up for a clarity call. After that clarity call, she did some more work and created an ebook. And then she sent that ebook to me. And once again, I reviewed it absolutely free. No charge. Why? Because again, this is somebody who's worked with, she's invested in herself. She's not just buying my products, but she's actually using them. I'm excited. I want to work with people who are working and working through stuff, right? I'm excited for her. When you do good, that makes me look good. What? Come on now. You can get paid with free. So once again, after that clarity call, I gave her a review, and guess what she did? A couple of weeks later, she signed up to my mastermind. She said, listen, you got me for life. Okay? I am ready. I am in the mastermind. Again, this was a person who originally was just kind of following me, getting my emails, listening to my content for free. Then decided, oh my goodness, LaShanda has a training. It's called Content to Cash Flow. I talked about one specific thing that she was interested in, and that was creating digital content, right? I said to you, you want to manifest more money? Talk about creating specific things for specific people. That Content to Cash Flow resonated with her. She signed up for it. Came back, said, LaShanda, this is what I made. I gave her a free review. She loved the review, came back, got a clarity call from me. Then she said, you know what? Here, LaShanda, based on the clarity call, this is what I did. Can you take a look? I took a look. She said, oh my God, LaShanda, I'm so excited. I need to be in your mastermind. She signed up. And here we are together. You can get paid with free. See, but it's got to be intentional. This whole thing that I just shared with you is completely different from when I told you a few minutes ago. I talked about if you want to get paid with free and you do a freebie, you have to have a sales funnel, you have to have automation. That's a whole other technique. I mean, there's so many ways you can intentionally get paid with free. It's not even funny. And I don't hesitate to tell you exactly what works for me because trust me and believe, I am a fountain. I am overflowing with information that works for me now and information that I'm sure is going to evolve and change, and I'll share what's new later. That's what I do in my mastermind. That's what I do on these audios. That's what I do via email. Because at the end of the day, I'm not just here for myself. As an entrepreneur and as a mommy, as a woman of color who used to dream about being in a space where I had my own business, my own home, my own car, my own family, knowing that I'm able to not only live the dream, but help people figure out how to do that too. Come on now. This goes beyond manifesting money. This goes beyond profit. This is just feeling like, wow, I get to live in my purpose. I get to work with people, help people, make it money, man. Sometimes that's just icing on the cake. Now, don't get me wrong, to some degree, there's some level of money that you need to just sustain as an adult, as a human being for yourself and your family. But then you get to a certain point where some of that money that coming in is just icing on the cake. Because the real cake is you just being able to live in your purpose, love on, and be loved by those who love you. Bless and be blessed by those who follow you. Right? That's me going on my soapbox. I'm going to get off that so I can continue this this conversation with you. But those are powerful things to keep in mind. So again, I said to you, listen, if nobody is listening to you, those people who aren't necessarily buying from you, but they're talking to you and engaging with you on some level, go deeper with those communications, whether it be getting on the phone with them or sending emails to them or providing them with opportunities to get access to your stuff at a significantly reduced rate so that in doing so, you can cultivate a buyer. You can cultivate somebody who's interested, and once they get that one thing, if you are consistent with not just being attracted by the new money and the new customers, but if you are consistent about having conversations with those people, they will consistently work with you too. So, okay, if you are still hanging in there with me, awesome. This is actually one of my longer success podcast sessions in the success series because I really am adamant about sharing as much as I can potentially share with you. And this is one of those dig deep conversations, right, that we need to have. So real talk, again, you've got to have some sort of actual one-on-one interaction with those people who are commentating and provide them with experiences that they can experience your stuff even at a reduced rate. If you are going to give things away for free, you have to do so strategically and know when to give them away. It's not just about, ooh, let me give them that for free. It's so amazing. They'll come back. You have to have some strategy behind it. If you feel lost, then don't do it for free. At the very least, some sort of reduced rate opportunity is actually better. And if you're not getting any commentary, if nobody's talking to you, if nobody's saying anything to you, real talk, you are not evoking enough emotion. You're not evoking enough emotion. So here's the deal. Sometimes I work with clients and they are creating content, again, in that space where they're doing the same thing over and over and like not getting enough results, either doing webinars over and over or creating videos over and over. Nobody's watching, nobody's commenting. Literally, you get like 5 views, right? Here are a couple of things you need to do. If you're creating content, but nobody's looking, you need to stop creating content and then start strategically talking more about the content that you've created so you can hit more views. Okay? It's not just about the new, like that little hamster running on that wheel. You need to strategically get better at marketing the stuff that you've already created. Because guess what? I'm not mad at you if you get small numbers. But I want you to get at least 100 views for that video. Because if you can then get 100 views for your videos and you knock out 10 videos, that's 1,000 views. Then you're strategically creating content and getting at least that much. But if you're creating stuff and it's like, oh, well, I got 5 people to watch it, that's not enough. So you need to stop the content creation and really start to work on strategically hitting at least 100, 200, 300 people per each item that you're creating. That's important. Now, a part of that, again, is you getting better at strategic marketing, which is what I love to teach inside of my mastermind. Money, marketing, and sales, those are the 3 things that we focus on. Keeping in mind that, for example, if you say, okay, well, I do want to do more video, I just don't know how to do it the right way. Here's a side note. Again, I'm the resource girl. One of the things that we did a few months ago in the circle was the video marketing challenge, and I shared all these great ways to strategically create video that's going to engage and get more people excited about what you do. The video challenge you can either learn more about at sistasense.com/VC for video challenge, or if you go to, again, sistasense.com/life, that's going to get you access to the Fire and Focus Experience, my mastermind. You get access to it for life. Plus, there are a few goodies attached onto that. One of them is getting access to the last 12 months of the mastermind. One of the things that we talked about was the video marketing challenge. So either you can get it just on its own at sistasense.com/VC, or if you go to sistasense.com/life, again, the video marketing challenge is one of several trainings in the 12-part series, in addition to the live stuff that we do every single month. Okay, that's just a side note. If video is something that you're trying to get better at. But at the end of the day, if you are not getting interaction, but you're just blindly creating more and more and more and more content, you have to stop doing the same thing and expecting to get better results. Either you need to get better at marketing, that's number 1, or number 2, you've got to get better at evoking emotions in the content that you create. So, as I'm sharing this particular message with you today, yesterday I was on a call with one of my favorite people, Kim Coles. Woo, woo, woo. You know I love me some Kim. She's actually one of my web clients. I built her website, kimcoles.tv. She's one of my Power Circle experts. I think it's going to be 3 years now that she's spoken for Back to Business, my virtual conference, every year. And she's one of my clients. I love talking about the different things that I do as far as money, marketing, and sales. So we had an awesome power session yesterday, and we talked about the amazing things that she's doing. Obviously, you know Kim. She's a TV personality, speaker, celebrity. She's a comedian. She's absolutely hilarious. And so we were talking about some of her great new products and projects. One of her gifts is making people laugh, making people feel good, evoking that emotion that just makes you go, oh my God, she's just too much, right? I don't know if you ever experienced Kim Coles, if you remember the TV sitcom that she was on, Living Single. She was Sinclair, right? And her signature phrase was woo, 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 right? Kim is just amazing. And we all have an inner Kim in us. We all have a gift, and you have something in you that evokes a particular kind of emotion, right? You've got to be able to bring that across in the content that you create. I share Kim for 2 reasons. Number 1, as part of Back to Business this year, she's actually talking about how you can find your POP, your purpose on this planet. I love it. Find your pop. And talking about, being in a space as a comedian, as someone who gets people engaged and excited, the things that she does, right? To pop, right? And to speak and to share her gifts live, but also virtually. I mean, Kim is just, I can't say enough about when I say, if you don't know how to do something right, you need to get the right people around you. She's one of those people, right? I talked about Charvette, and Charvette, she's going to talk about Facebook marketing. Kim is going to talk about how you can pop and find your purpose. And she is amazing at invoking, because she's a comedian, invoking humor and teaching other people, how to engage, how to do speaking, how to invoke humor, because you've got to do something, whether it be video content, audio content, or even your writing. You've got to create content that invokes some sort of emotion for people. Because if they're not engaged, if they're not liking, if they're not talking to you, it's honestly, a part of that is not just about views. Even if you get 10 or 15 or 20 people to view it, those 10, 15, 20 people, 1 person, 2 people, they got to say something to you that says, listen, you invoked something in me. One of the last sessions that I created for the Sister Sense Success series was about how to show up and show out, right? How to be in a space where you can create a voice for yourself online and how to manage lack of support. That particular success session was at, I believe, sistersense.com/916. I think it was 916, either 916 or 918, one of those. I share that because after I posted that message, several women came to me and shared how much that message moved them. One of my clients, she actually did an audio, and she said to me, and it was 20 minutes. I sat down and I listened to her audio, and I'm a tear up kind of girl, so I started to tear up. And she was like, I was going through some things in my life, in my business with my father, and I listened to your message. And I have to say, LaShanda, that was divine right timing. You spoke to me. You helped me heal. You helped me release some things. Wow. Whatever content you create, I'm not saying that everything you create is great. Not every day I create something that evokes emotion in a whole bunch of people. Sometimes it's nobody. Sometimes it's one or two people. But the reality is it has to evoke emotion. Okay? I had one young lady who said to me, LaShanda, listen, you preached to me. She said, LaShanda, I was listening to you, by the way, it's the audio session. I was listening to you. I was running. I was doing my workout in the park. I just started to bawl, flat out bawl. You were preaching to me. You were speaking to me. She said, listen, if there was an altar call, I felt like I needed to go up to the altar because I was in tears when I listened to your session. We talked about that, she said, listen, if I could have sent you a voicemail, I would have, but she sent me a message. She's like, I know this email is really long, but I just had to tell you all these things. And I want to be in the power circle and I want to work with you. And I can't tell you how helpful and how great and how much that message meant to me. I can't tell you. This is what you need. You don't need vanity numbers. You don't need to have, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm human. Sometimes I look at them numbers and I'm like, so-and-so has 100,000, da-da-da-da-da. I want that too. But then I remember, so that's her blessing. That's her gift. Stay in your lane, won't be no damn traffic. Number one. Number two, you've got your blessing. You've got your gift. Aren't you getting paid? Aren't you creating magic? Aren't you working with people who feel blessed to work with you and you're blessing others? Yes, okay. Stay in your lane, won't be no damn traffic. Don't get caught up in them damn vanity numbers. Because number one, whatever that blessing is, that is her blessing, not yours. Number two, your time will come. When you are ready to receive those numbers will come to you. Number three, keep it simple. Keep it clear. Let's be clear. Even without XYZ vanity numbers over here, you still doing the damn thing. On top of that, you're teaching other people how they can have big results with a small list too. So get it. Sometimes it's hard to get out of your head the desire to want to be as popular as this person or that person, especially if you are my person. And I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people consider me to be a pioneer at what I do as far as money marketing and sales with respect to women entrepreneurs online. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been talking about Black women entrepreneurs before some people even knew what the hell that was. Now you can throw a rock and find a coach or an entrepreneur in a lane that used to be just me and a few other bodies. Again, I'm not saying this to be cocky, but I'm confident and I'm honest, right? And I say that because I know in all actuality and in all honesty, it's not about the vanity numbers, because you can still make good money, real money. You can still bring in abundance without those big numbers. It's just that sometimes we get caught up wanting other people to see us that way with all those big numbers and the popularity and the fame and the image. But at the end of the day, I remember to remind myself I would rather be profitable than popular. I'd rather live in my purpose and work with the right bodies than try to force my gift on everybody. That's something that I tell myself, and I tell that to you because maybe you need somebody to tell you that. Maybe somebody's not telling you that. And you're sitting there trying to figure out why I'm doing something wrong. How come everybody else is doing this way and they get it so fast and it's taking me so long? I'm telling you my truth. This is what it takes to manifest more money. You have to be able to evoke emotion. So I said to you, I shared with you this funny story about Kim because she's super funny. And if you want to figure out how to pop and how to do comedy and how to share your gifts, I make sure that I have the right people around me and I give you access to them. So literally via Back to Business, you can participate live. You can talk to Kim and all these other amazing ladies. You can ask questions. You can learn about different things that you can do to evoke emotion. Right? Because I teach not just what I know, but I try to get the right people around you because that's important too. So sometimes people will watch a video and they say, LaShanda, you made me cry. Or you made me get clear. I hit them with the light bulbs and you're like, oh my God, I've got all these ideas because I just listened to you. I've got all these great ideas, LaShanda. Sometimes people literally, what motivated them to work with me is I just hit them with so many great ideas and hit them with so much clarity. They're like, listen, damn it, if this is what you give me for free, what? I can't imagine what I'm going to get when I work with you privately. You can get paid with free. You have to evoke emotions within the people that you're working with. Even with your freebies, you can't just create blah freebies. You know, you're trying to put stuff out there and you're like, well, I'm just going to create a freebie because I know I need to put a freebie. Your freebie, literally, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is not a gimmick. When you look at marketers and you look at people who say, listen, I'm giving you my book for free. I'm giving you my course that people spent $300, $400, $500 on for free. It's not a gimmick. They're giving you that for free because they want you to know if this is what they give you for free, you don't even want to imagine the amazing that's around the paid side. So when you create them meh freebies that don't evoke emotion, that you ain't even excited about, why do you think other people are going to be excited about them things? If you look at it and it doesn't get you excited, listen, sometimes I give some stuff away for free or I have a low price point product, right? I'm going to be honest with you, even my paid stuff, when I put $297 on Fire and Focus for Life, I looked at that and I said, Lord, you know you crazy. Because this right here, first of all, it's lifetime. So lifetime in and of itself is priceless. But at the very least, this should be $1,000 offer. Come on. Come on now. You're putting in there lifetime access to your mastermind, which, by the way, you've been doing for 7 years now. You're putting in access to the last 12 mastermind sessions that you did for the year. You're putting in the Back to This virtual conference. You're putting in 27 of your best online courses on money, marketing, sales, digital content creation, and more for $297. Then you barely raising it to $497. You crazy. Sometimes if you don't look at your shit and get excited, don't expect somebody else to. I'm sorry. You have to evoke strong emotions in people. Period. Let's be clear. Strong emotions need to be evoked. With that said, number one, I want you to really look at either your free or paid offers that you're putting out there. Do you get emotional? I want you to listen to the content that you're putting out there. Do you get emotional? If that's not the case, you really need to focus on evoking strong feelings in your content. If you don't know how to do that, whether it be me or Kim or the amazing other people in my power circle that we've learned how to do this and we train other people, you need the right people around you, which is number 8. Number 8, you have to have the right people around you if you want to manifest money. One of the things that Kim and I were talking about yesterday is affiliate marketing. I was sharing, some of the resources that I use to create my affiliate products as she launches hers, right? And that's one of 3 conversations I've been having this past week. One was with another particular young lady who said to me, LaShanda, I need you to JV partner with me so that you can be on my team and I can give my clients your web design services. Right? Which is interesting because at the same time, I talk about Back to Business over at sistersense.com/partners. I recently launched a new version of my affiliate program, right? So that ladies in my circle are signing up to the affiliate program. So even outside of learning from me, they can earn, you can earn, right? By going and promoting the Back to Business conference or promoting the mastermind or promoting my ebooks or courses, and you get a percentage of those sales, right? If you want to change your life, you have to change your circle, which means you've got to have the right people around you. Never in a million years would I envision jumping on a clarity call with Kim Coles. Never in the million years would I envision having celebrity clients, having $1 million clients, working with lawyers, working with doctors, hell, working with people who are 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 years older than me, who literally say, listen, LaShanda, I know I'm 50, but I want to be you when I grow up. Never in a million years would I have imagined that. But that comes when you are really intentional about putting yourself out there, sharing from a genuine place. Every time you share, not trying to reach everybody, but the right bodies, being specific and intentional with respect to the content that you create, and making sure that you strategically are putting yourself in a space where you are in the company of great people. I created the Power Circle, the backtobusiness.me, the virtual conference experience, because literally sometimes my speakers are on the call, by the way, they're listening to other speakers and they're like, damn, I need to know you. As soon as this is over, we need to talk. Or attendees are asking questions of the speakers and they're like, oh my gosh, I love what you do. I want to work with you. As soon as this is over, I'm going to email you so we can work together. It's not just about you hearing people. It's about you communicating with people, right? That's one of the reasons. I mean, the replays are great, but the live, come on. Being able to sit and talk to myself and Kim Coles and all of these amazing women entrepreneurs, that means you are up-leveling yourself. That means not only are you learning from people, but you are positioning yourself to say, hey, I'm a part of the conversation too. If you want to manifest more money, you've got to be around the right people. You've got to be around the right people. Because that's going to help you either leverage those connections or provide you with more revenue opportunities. There's actually this quote that says 9 out of 10 businesses fail. That's why I have 10 of them. And I thought that was so funny, right? The particular quote basically means, okay, because 9 out of 10 businesses fail, I'm going to have 10 businesses to ensure that I'm going to succeed one way or another, right? Me personally, I don't necessarily have 10 businesses, but I have multiple revenue streams. So every time I network and create a joint venture partnership or an affiliate partnership, those are all of these different revenue streams that work for me. Whether I'm having clarity calls with clients, or I'm building a website, or I'm doing a mastermind or a virtual conference or a live workshop here in North Carolina, my Fire Start Your Year workshop that I do every year here in North Carolina in January, these are all different revenue models. Manifesting money, it's about the right people, right? But it's also about what I said to you before. You don't have a money problem. You have an idea problem. Number one, if you consistently focus on putting out your next best great offer, you will consistently generate revenue. If you consistently, as opposed to, stop chasing money. And number 4, start really working on your old customers and repurposing your old content. That's going to work better for you. Number 9, stop being afraid of fear. Fear is natural. There's no one out here that's a superhero that's immune to fear. Be afraid and do it anyway. Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to charge too much. Oh, I'm afraid some people are not going to like it. Oh, I'm afraid it's going to fail. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure that folks like Oprah have failed more times than we have ever dreamt to fail. But see, you don't get to the $1 million level, the 6-figure level, or the $1 billion level without failure. Oprah's probably failed more time in her life than you or I has ever dreamed of. But look at her success. And you sitting there hesitant and resistant for 1 or 2 little failures. Come on now. That's a natural part of the process. We are never going to not be afraid. One of the ladies in my circle posted on Instagram a few days ago, thank you, God, for fear in my heart right now. Because the fear in my heart is indicating to me that I am positioning myself for my next best level. Your next level begins where your comfort level ends. If you are not scared, you ain't doing it right. Even when you're successful, if you ain't going, damn, I screwed up, I failed, you ain't doing it right. Even when you are successful. One of the people I follow on Instagram is The Rock, and he was answering questions. One of the questions was, as the Rock, and you're so amazing, you're so great at this point, who are your competitors right now? He said, let me tell you something, real talk. At the end of the day, my biggest competitor is always me. I always have to next level, up level, outdo me, the person looking at you in the mirror, nobody else. Because regardless of what you think or perceive their profit and perfection and success to be, you have no idea what's happening behind those closed doors. So you need to get out of your emotion, get out of your head, stay in your own lane, won't be no damn traffic, and focus on you. You are your only competitor. Release. You have to be releasing all of those things that you no longer lead in your life. That's number 10. If you want to manifest more money, you have to release. You have to remove the things in your life that no longer serve you. You have to clean house. Literally clean the damn house. If there's stuff that you need to get rid of it. Literally clean out your mind. Literally clean out your heart. Literally clean out your business. Whether you want to do it or not, you have to release. You have to release. I'm going to share a personal story with you. I want to say a couple of months into the year, several of my websites were hacked. One of them is Multiple Shades of You Online, msoyonline.com, the first site that I created when I was in college back in 2007, almost 2 decades ago, my first website. And here's the thing, I've dealt with hackers and hacking before, and I've been able to clean it up and do what I needed to do, but the infection was so bad, and it was over somewhere between 5 to 10 of my websites, that either I had to invest a lot of money to clean up all those websites, because at that point it was out of my technical expertise, or I had to let them go. And I made the hardest decision in my life. And these are websites that I created. It would take so much time and energy because I'm baby steps building back those things. But I said to myself, number one, I cannot do this right now. I'm not going to invest money into these things that are not where my heart and where my focus is right now. I'm on Sister Sense mode right now. So number one, I'm going to let these go. But guess what? I have enough that I need to make them better when I come back. Sometimes there are things that are old or outdated, and you try to throw more money at it. And even if you threw more money at it, it's not really going to work for you right now. Or things that you just want it because you're nostalgic. If you go to msoyonline.com, more than likely it'll take you over to what currently is an archive of the site, because it's very old. It's one of my favorites. It's my first, right? And my heart is in it. But until I come back with a new version, you being able to see the archive version, it's good enough. Because I'm not going to stretch myself thin. I'm not going to now, overspend or over try to do all these different things. I let it go. I released it. I let go. I let God. I moved on. Bigger and better is waiting for you. One of my favorite images online, and I've shared this before, is of Christ. He's in front of a little girl. He's kneeling down with a huge teddy bear behind his back. And she has this little teddy bear, and she's holding on to it. And he's like, give me the teddy bear. And she doesn't want to let it go, but she doesn't realize that as soon as she gives the Lord that teddy bear, he is going to give her the biggest gift that she could possibly imagine, bigger than she ever thought she could get, but she does not want to release it. I could have sat there, I could have cried, I could have been devastated, I could have cursed everybody because my site was hacked, and how dare, and how many years. I'm talking about damn near 20 years of worth of work, not one site's. Literally somewhere, I don't even know the number, somewhere between 5 to 10 sites I had to let go of, release, delete, remove, and I still haven't gotten them back to where they needed to be because I'm so focused on Sister Sense and my new Bright Colors brand. I'm like, listen, I'll get back to those, but I have to release them because I want to manifest bigger and better. In order for you to do that, you have to let go of what's old. Sometimes it's out of your control. The hacking, that was out of my control, right? But so many things have come into my life. So much money, so many experiences, so many people, I can't tell. If I put more money and time and energy and hurt and pain into what I lost, I wouldn't have received all the things I've gained, all of these months? What is hard for you to let go of that you need to? What can you clean out? On the conversation of websites, sometimes I laugh when I look and see, how many domain names people buy, or how many. I'm like, listen, whatever does not serve you, get rid of it. A few months ago, back to back, I had received emails from my hosting company about 2 or 3 domains that I don't even use anymore, and they paid me for because it's auto bill, right? And I'm going to be honest with you, them 2, 3 domains altogether was maybe like $40. Let me tell you something. I called them. I said, I don't need these anymore. They canceled them. They refunded my money, and there you go. Now, on the grand scheme of things, what's $40? But here's the deal. It's not about the $40. One of the things that I teach as far as manifesting money is releasing the things that you don't need. If you sat down and thought about everything that's on auto bill alone, stuff that you don't use, stuff that you don't need, you might cry right now. You might have $50, $200, $500, $1,500 going out, paying for things you don't need. Then you can take that $500, $1,500, $100 and put back into your business, back into you, back into your growth. You're trying to figure out how to get $1,500 in sales, but you spending $1,500 on stuff that you don't need. Hello? It's time to remove what no longer serves you. Whether the Lord indirectly says so, right? It's so funny because when I got hacked, I said, this is the devil. The devil's a liar. The devil is a liar. He's messing with me. He's messing with my money. He's messing with my blessings. And you know what? I always try to find a positive side. I eventually turned it around and said, you know what? This is not the devil's work. This is the Lord saying it's time for you to release some of this old stuff that's in your life so that you can receive the new. One of the best examples of that is Steve Harvey. One experience I had was watching a video of him, and he talked to Oprah about his old car. He was talking about when in his younger years, he was excited about buying a new car. And when he was excited, every day he would say, Mama, I'm going to get my new car. I'm going to get my new car. I'm going to get my new car. And she kept saying, but your old car is sitting up in the driveway, baby. But your old car is sitting up in the driveway, baby. And he was frustrated with her. He's like, why are you excited about me getting my old car, my new car? Why you keep talking about this old car? And she said, listen, until you get the old car out of that driveway, where are you going to put the new one? Hello? Until you get rid of some of these things in your life, whether in your closet, your hosting, your extra domain, your extra services, in your backyard, in your garage, in your mind. If you don't get rid of these things, how you expect to manifest more money? Your money is being blocked. And it's so interesting that we're having this conversation because, again, I'm all about having powerful people around me. One of the ladies in my circle is Abiola Abrams, a spiritpreneur. She talks about being a sacred bombshell. That's her brand, Sacred Bombshell. And one of the things that she's actually talking about, and as part of Back to Business this year for the virtual conference, is how to unblock your money. And this is so important because sometimes folks are so stuck on, my money is being blocked because they ain't buying, because they don't like me, because all this other stuff. And some of it is honestly you. Some of it is you blocking yourself because you're not releasing all of these things that no longer serve you. And believe it or not, either you remove some things that, you're overspending and you find ways to bring in money you didn't even know you had, or by just releasing things that you keep seeming to hold on to, you are opening yourself up to new blessings and new opportunities that you couldn't even imagine. Because what the Lord has set for us, what his plan is for you, is bigger than your master plan, boo. I understand that, and I have to consistently remind myself of that because sometimes I get caught up in the vanity numbers and what she doing, what he doing, what I ain't doing, why this so slow, why this so low. I understand that. That's human nature. But this conversation is not just about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 strategies. It's about you knowing these things so that when you feel these things, you can be aware of them. and you can snap out of them so that you can snap into your success. Power through to your best you. One of the things that I consistently say on Sister Sense, you have to power through to your best you. At every level, you're going to have difficulties. You're going to have challenges. You're going to have setbacks, right? Right? At every level, even when that money is great. Some of the things that I'm going to tell you, most successful people will tell you, when we hit certain numbers, then we realize it ain't even the money anymore. It's about happiness. It's about time. It's about freedom. It's about not overexertion. It's about health. It's about those things that are priceless, right? We're talking about money markers today, but at every level, there is a level of elevation and relevation that comes with it, right? You've got to, number 10, release the things that no longer serve you so that you can better serve yourself and the people whom you wish to work with. Simplify, Serve, and Sell. I said to you a few minutes ago, my Simplify, Serve, and Sell challenge over at sistersense.com/simple. I talk about that. I talk about this idea of being in a space where you get better at doing the things that work for you, and you get better at serving the people you wish to serve once you release all the things that are blocking you. One of the first things that we did in Simplify, Serve, and Sell was talk about 15 things messing with your money. You can watch that video absolutely free. sistersense.com/15 things. 15 things messing with your money. Because sometimes it's about releasing the things that are messing with you that's going to help you get to that next level. So did I share? And did I overshare today? You might, I don't know, I'll be surprised. You can email me, sistersense@gmail.com. Let me know what you thought about this. Let me know if you actually sat and listened to the whole thing in one sitting, because this is the longest success series audio message I've done thus far. But I really, really wanted to dig in and dig deep with respect to this conversation about manifesting your money, the 10 things that you could potentially do to work on that, work through what you need to do to move forward. Of course, I will continue to do my best to share my best with you. And like I said, you want to make sure that you go to sistersense.com/922, because there were quite a few resources and recommendations that I shared with you. So all of those links and things you'll be able to access on that particular page. Okay, so don't feel like, oh my God, I missed this, or I don't remember what she said, or how did she phrase it, or how do I spell that? Everything that you need is over at sistersense.com/922. So, it's time for me to go. But I hope I've shared as much as I could to pour into you, get you excited about that fire, how you can be focused, fired up. And whether you work with me inside the mastermind and get that consistent focus and fire and focus for life, but whether you do that or not, I want to make sure that I can encourage you and empower you to tap into your own personal fire and focus for better. All right. So that's it for today. Take care.